Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your severe weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We'll start with the visible satellite picture this morning, and it's pretty clear what we have sitting up here, which is an upper level low over southern New England. And as a result, we have moderate to heavy rain rotating through Connecticut and eastern Long Island. Now, what's interesting here is that at the surface, we have this little weak boundary, and we have tremendous lifting developing over much of southern New England, back down through the Long Island Sound and eastern Long Island. The reverse of that is sinking air, which is basically setting up over southeastern Pennsylvania, throughout all of New Jersey and parts of New York City. Now, as this lifting starts to weaken because the disturbance starts to leave, cloud cover that is currently setting up over Connecticut and Long Island will backbuild through the rest of the northern mid-Atlantic. Scattered showers will be a threat throughout this afternoon, but I don't think it will be as heavy as what we're seeing in Connecticut this morning, because the strength of the disturbances behind the one that's currently producing the rain is not nearly as impressive. And also, we're going to have a tremendous amount of dry air continuing to build in from the eastern Great Lakes from a high pressure system over Lake Ontario. As a result, when the rain tries to develop, most of it will not reach the ground because dew points are falling off. So overall, a cloudy day is going to develop by this afternoon. A few isolated showers, but not a complete washout. Those of you in Connecticut, you're going to deal with the moderate to heavy rain until about noon, and then thereafter the rain will start to break up and become far more lighter. When we look at the water vapor, we really get a full understanding of exactly where this pattern is heading. Clearly, our upper level low is setting up over Connecticut and slowly moving to the east. That upper level low will exit, and high pressure that is currently over the Great Lakes will drop south towards the mid-Atlantic, producing an excellent day of weather for tomorrow and for much of Thursday. However, as this high pressure system drops south, we have a stationary front setting up over the Mississippi River Valley back through the southern plains. As this high pressure system drops south, this stationary front will lift northeast as a warm front, and our area low pressure over Oklahoma will move northeast with it towards the Great Lakes. So when is this warm front going to approach? Well, let's take a look at the latest model guidance. This is the European model of 500 millibars, courtesy of the Penn State E-Wall, and as you can see, we have a trough moving through the Great Lakes and parts of the Northeast, and we have a ridge starting to build over the Mississippi River Valley and much of the Southeast and Tennessee River Valley. Basically, what we have setting up here is the brunt of the cool air, the Canadian air masses, are all retrograding back into Canada. Notice the upper level low is repositioned towards the northern parts of Canada, towards the Hudson Bay. Now, as a result, we're going to have a warm front move through the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area on Friday afternoon and evening. I'm really not impressed with the rain potential with this warm front at this time. There could be a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, and some of those thunderstorms could be strong. However, I do not think everyone will see heavy rain. I think we're going to see scattered showers, and when this warm front moves through, then the rainfall is over. So it won't be a complete washout on Friday. Most likely what we'll start off with is a cloudy Friday morning. We'll get our warm front move through Friday afternoon with scattered showers and thunderstorms. And if we have any plans Friday night, I think by Friday night this warm front will move past the New York City metropolitan area and towards New England, with a clearing developing by Friday evening. So it won't be a complete washout. But the important thing to keep in mind here is that with this high pressure system setting up over the southeast, we're going to start developing a southwesterly flow. And when you have a southwesterly flow coming off the Gulf of Mexico, that means one thing: hazy, hot, and humid. Meanwhile, an area low pressure is developing over the southern plains by Friday evening, and that low pressure system is going to track towards the northeast, towards the Great Lakes, which means our storm track has once again shifted to the north and west of the northern mid-Atlantic. So it looks like we're going to be in a warm and humid pattern for the next several days. We'll fast forward to Sunday evening, and as you can see, our front is stationary over the eastern Great Lakes and cutting into the central Hudson River Valley, which means that we are in the warm and humid sector. Now, I want to stress that the hot and humid air mass that's going to be returning for this weekend into early next week is nowhere near what we saw last week with upper 90s, near 100. Slightly different air mass. This one actually is more moisture loaded. I think it's going to have higher humidity, but not as high as temperatures. So I'm looking for mid 80s to lower 90s, possibly a few mid 90s as we head into early next week, depending on the position of the winds. But the key point here is that our storm track has shifted to the northwest of the northern mid-Atlantic once again. We're going to have a high pressure system once again set up off the southeast coast, and that means warm or hot, humid air is moving from the Gulf Coast up the east coast towards the northern mid-Atlantic. So summer is not over by a long shot. Looks like the hot and humid conditions will return, but again, not nearly as intense as what we saw previously with the last heat wave. So we have that at least. It's certainly excellent beach weather, especially by Sunday. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA Weather as your severe weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.